Hi everyone, Ginette Biro here. I'm a medium and a channeler, and I had a great question asked of me the other day, which was, what is the difference between higher self, soul, and spirit? And that's a great question because those terms are thrown around interchangeably quite often. Now, I can only give you my opinion, my understanding of what resonates for me, so I'm definitely happy to share that. So, soul and spirit are essentially the same thing. It is the energy that makes you, you, or makes any other person them. How I like to kind of differentiate the two, though, is to me, spirit is anyone that is not embodied anymore on the other side, in the higher realm. Someone who has already passed away, transitioned to the other side, they are in spirit, meaning they're not connected to the body. Then I guess I could say then that the soul is in reference to the energetic nature that is us when we are embodied, right? My soul feels this, but really, if I said my soul or my spirit feels this, there's really no difference. It's kind of one and the same. You could talk about souls on the other side or spirits on the other side. Souls on this side or spirits on this side. So that one I find really interchangeable, and really I would say follow what resonates with you. Now, when we get to the higher self, though, this is the really interesting one. I have my whiteboard here. Any of you that have taken my Cosmic Consciousness Circle know that I like my whiteboards. So I want to kind of explain what higher self is and why that's a little bit different. So higher self essentially is you, but a fuller, higher version. So let's look at the higher self like a pie, okay? Here's my pie. Pardon my lack of artistic skill here. Here's my pie, and this is your entire spirit, your entire soul, the entirety of your being. Now, what happens is when you come down into a human life, let's say this is the 3D side of the veil, 3D. What happens is one piece of this pie comes down to be embodied. A piece of that spirit comes down to be embodied as you. So if I use myself for an example right now, my higher self is the entirety, but I have a sliver of me in this existence right now as Ginette. When I cross over, I will connect back into the entirety of my higher self. And the reason why I split this up is this is essentially the many different lifetimes and experiences you have had as a soul. Each time your higher self will send down a fragment or a piece of your spirit, your soul, to be embodied and gain wisdom and understanding. Then when you cross over, you connect back in. And that is often why in mediumship readings, we tend to connect back into the spirit, and it is so all-knowing, right? The spirits seem to they still have their characteristics of how they were in life, but so much more. And that's because they have reconnected into the entirety of their whole being. So when someone says connect to your higher self, essentially, they're saying connect to the greater force of you, which is so much more. It is not fully embodied. They say in order to embody your entirety of your higher self could potentially just fry the consciousness of humans in the way that they're designed. There's so much knowledge in your higher self. Now the cool thing is your frequency matches that of your higher self. So you can, through your lifetime, draw in more and more of your higher self energy into this piece here, which essentially gets bigger and bigger and bigger, which is really what we would call awakening. Awakening is connecting deeper to the higher self, deeper to the knowledge you've gained in many lifetimes, which then also, when you connect into more of this, you connect into more of the greater cosmic collective or source collective or God energy, universal energy, whatever your term is. So I hope that kind of helps explain a little bit of how it works, the difference between soul, spirit, and higher self.